Good morning, everybody. I'm Chris Chapman, and as the newest Dark Horse CPA, I'm excited to be here filling in for Chase on this episode of This Week This Morning, since this morning marks the last day of my first week with Dark Horse. Quick outline of this episode. Other than one update coming from the IRS, there wasn't much else going on in the tax world, so I'll start off with the new news and spend the rest of the time reiterating and expanding upon Chase's comments from last week's episode. To kick things off, this Wednesday, the IRS released a revenue ruling to provide some clarification regarding PPP loan forgiveness. As has always been the case, any expenses paid for with PPP loan funds that are subsequently forgiven are not deductible for tax purposes. This much is clear. However, there have been some wishful thinkers out there, including some clients of my own, who have wondered whether or not the timing for excluding these expenses should match the timing of forgiveness, in hopes of potentially delaying the exclusion of these deductions until 2021 if the actual forgiveness is not granted until after year end. Well, the IRS crushed those hopes by making it clear that if you can reasonably expect your loan to be forgiven, then you are not allowed to deduct expenses paid for with PPP funds, regardless of when the actual forgiveness is granted. Moving on to year-end tax planning. With a new president and a new year on the horizon, I know we're all eager to come up with a game plan as soon as possible. Unfortunately, as Chase mentioned last week, control of the Senate is still up in the air and won't be decided until January after the runoff election results are in for the 2 Georgia seats. Without knowing if we'll have a split Congress or not, it's tough to predict the timing and magnitude of tax legislation to come in 2021. However, to reiterate, we do believe taxes will be increasing at some point in 2021. And therefore, if you have the money to pay the tax in 2020, you should go ahead and do it, as long as you don't do anything that would move you into a higher tax bracket. Another hot topic conversation continues to be the second round of stimulus payments. People want to know who will receive the funds. When will we get the money? How much will we get? Although both Trump and Biden have come out recently and urged Congress to get the next round passed as soon as possible, our opinion hasn't changed from last week. So expect to wait until early 2021 before the final package is approved and any funds are released. When it comes to how much money you can expect to receive, this too could largely depend on who ends up controlling the Senate. In the simplest of terms, if it ends up being the Democrats, then overall, you should expect the second round of payments to be higher than the first. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. Thanks for watching, and if you have any further questions or are considering handing your taxes over to a professional, please do contact a Dark Horse CPA.